Okay, guys, just a quick video for LOOMX. This is a brand new platform, just a couple of days old. We just jumped into this. We put in 13K into this already. Just check out my last two videos. And yeah, cool thing about this one is you can see all of the arbitrage bot trades. You can actually see them on chain. Another thing that's cool about this thing is you can earn up to 1.44% per day. And it's not based on how much you put in, but how long you stake for. And after your staking period, you do get your funds back. This is already blowing up in the Asian market. I posted some videos in my Telegram yesterday. Um, uh, Thailand, several teams in Thailand. There's a couple of offices already over there. Also, I think I posted Vietnam and also a video from China. But there's a whole lot of videos that I'm going to be posting on these different markets that are opening up. I think in South Korea as well. There's a bunch of people that are building this in India. So again, that's it's already starting to really take off. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this quick video. I'm going to show you the compensation plan, which I haven't talked about yet. We'll take a quick look at that, and yeah, I'll go over the comp plan document. Of course, I want to start off by saying that I am not a financial advisor. Never take anything I say as financial advice. Decide to jump into this one or anything really in the crypto space, in the passive income space, just know that there's risk involved. So you should only be putting in risk capital, guys, funds you can afford to lose. And of course, do your own research and due diligence. Okay. If you're okay with the risk, then get in. If you're not, then, stay away from these different platforms. Also follow me on Telegram, subscribe to the channel. You guys know the deal there. So let's go ahead and jump into this quick video. I'm going to go into the actual document of the comp plan here. But again, it's really easy to get into this one. I've done two deposits already, one for 3K, one for 10K. And yeah, it's pretty simple and straightforward. You can put in USDT, BEP20, right? Binance Smart Chain. I think you can also put in ERC20, TRC20, and on Solana USDT. So it's USDT in and out, right? Which is cool. There's no native token that we have to swap out for another token and then swap that out on an exchange that we have to get a membership with, and then, you know, try to get USDT and withdraw that to our wallet. This pays out USDT, right? It's USDT in, USDT out, and the withdrawals automatic, right? Anytime you have a $5 or above balance, it automatically sends it out to your wallet, which is another cool thing I talked about briefly yesterday. It forces people to withdraw. I mean, you have no other choice. You can't really compound. Now, of course, if you get your earnings in your wallet and you want to put it back in, that's totally up to you. But it forces people to withdraw, which is, it's always a good thing. Okay. Rule of thumb in this space, withdraw until you at least pull out your capital before you even think about compounding. 99% of the time, that's the rule that I follow. Yes, I've broken that rule a couple of times, and sometimes it's paid off. I've compounded before I've withdrawn. And sometimes, like I said, it's paid off because I was very familiar with the platform. I had a lot of confidence in it, and it worked out. But sometimes I've done it and it didn't work out, right? And so that's why most of the time, significantly most of the time, I'll withdraw before I even think about compounding. So this forces you to do that because the withdrawals are automatic. But anyway, we're going off on a tangent. Let's go ahead and show you this quick document. If you need this document, by the way, let me know. I'll send it over to you on Telegram. But here you have the different plans. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so you have these different plans, right? You have the 7-day plan, right? Then you have the 30-day, 90-day, 180, right? And then of course 360 days. The longer you stake for, the more you'll be able to earn on a daily basis, and all of them require just 100 USDT. So it's really easy to get into. And again, 50% of your capital you can withdraw out at the 50% mark, except for the 7-day one. So, right. So, because again, it's only 7 days. But if you come into, let's say, the 30-day, right, at the 15-day mark, which is the 50% staking period time, you'll be able to withdraw 50% of your funds. Or you could just keep it in there and run the whole 30 days and just take all of it out when they return it back to you. But that's the rule. 50% of your funds can be taken out at the 50% mark of your staking period. So I went in at 360 days. At the 180-day mark, which is the halfway point, I'll be able to pull out half of my funds if I want to, or I could just leave it in there and just continue to earn. If all goes well and it's running smooth, why not? Why not leave it in there so we can continue to earn? And again, you look at these payouts here. Remember, there's an 80-20 split. So you're getting 80%. So I talked about that yesterday as well. Here, I went on this one. It says here 1.3 to 1.8% a day, but 80% of that is what we get. So the payout daily, right? It'll range from 80% of this, which is about 1.04% to 1.44% a day, which is again still very competitive, right? So anyway, this is the compensation plan. Um, Again, there's direct referral earnings, right? These are people that you're personally bringing to the table, right? You're referring people. Then there's the earnings you're going to get on your entire team, right? So with direct referral earnings, let's make this a little bit bigger. You can see here, you'll earn anywhere from 20, well, it starts off at 20%, right? So if you come in, right, if you have at least one direct referral that's active, right, and you have at least $100 deposited, then you'll be earning 20% on your first level. Um, Now, I'm trying to clarify if that's 20% one time or if that's a 20% match that goes on every single day. Me personally, I'd rather have it come every single day, right? Of course, you can get a nice chunk up front, but me, I'd rather get a match daily and just have my daily passive income grow because I'm getting a match, right? So again, I'm going to clarify that. Again, there's not a whole lot of people promoting this or videos out just yet, and so when I want to get something clarified, I do need to reach upline leaders and get that clarified. So that's something I'm going to verify. But regardless, okay, either whether it comes in one time up front or it comes out daily, a match, this is the percentage that you're getting, right? So again, this is on your directs. This is on your first level. If you have two referrals, right, and you have a little bit more deposited in, then you're getting 15% on your first level, which I believe this is a match. Uh, so it's a daily match, which is great. Because again, for me, I've been in platforms before that pay out a daily match on people's income, and even though it's not a big upfront chunk you're getting upfront over time, it does grow significantly, right? I mean, it's pretty wild how this thing can really compound. So again, there's a direct referral earning, but more important than that, there is the community management revenue. Because again, your team is going to grow exponentially, right? Like for example, once you get your team growing and if you referred a couple of people and they start referring a couple of people and those start referring a couple of people, next thing you know, you have hundreds of people or even thousands of people on your team. There's no way you could have referred those people by yourself, right? Directly. Of course, you got to get it going, right? By referring a few directs, right? But then your team starts growing exponentially. You're going to be earning a match on people that you never, you don't even know, right? Maybe you've never even spoken to them, or you're not ever going to speak to them, but you're getting a little match. So here, there's a couple of different tiers you can choose, not choose from, but you can rank up to, right? There's V1 all the way up to V8, right? So there's V1 all the way to V8. Of course, the higher you go, the more your match will be, and your daily income can exponentially grow. So I'm just giving you the overall concepts, right? Of course, we can play with calculations later on, and we probably will. We'll do a deep dive. This is just an intro, just kind of giving you a big picture on what this looks like. Some of you guys have said, well, you haven't really mentioned what the comp plan is. How does it work? Is there a team building side to it? Yeah, you're looking at it right here. So at V1, right? There's a couple of requirements to hit V1. You need to have a personal, right, deposit, and then you also need to have volume, your team volume, but this is outside of your biggest leg, outside of your biggest team, right? So you have to have 20,000 of volume outside of your biggest team and 100 of personal volume. That'll qualify you for V1. And then from at the V1 position, you're going to earn a 10% match on people's income on your team, right? Which is, pretty awesome, right? So we'll just focus on the match, okay? Of course, when we do a deep dive, we can talk about uh, overrides, right? There's an override, right? The differential, right? Which a lot of you guys may be familiar with that. There's also same level bonus, right? If someone hits your level, instead of you not making anything, right? Because they've ranked up to your same level, at least you'll be earning a little bit of a match here, right? But anyway, we won't focus on that today. We're just going to look at the overall, right? At V2, that's 500 on your personal volume and then 50,000 of volume outside of your biggest leg. Now you're getting a 20% match. Now, again, if there's no other V, if it's all, open line, for some of you guys that are in network marketing or have network marketing experience, you know what I'm talking about. If it's all open line, then it's a full 20% match on people's income, which is pretty astounding. Now, of course, if there's a V1 there, then you'll get a 10% match on because again, it's a differential, right? So again, I don't want to confuse you on that. We'll just focus on the overall. At V3, which is a thousand on your personal, right, deposit, then 150,000 of volume outside your biggest leg. Now you have a 30% match, right? At V4, 3,000, 500,000 on your volume outside your biggest leg. That's a 40% match, right? Um, that's pretty significant. 5,000 of volume, right? 150, 100, or excuse me, 1.5 million of volume outside your biggest leg. Now you have a 50% match. Okay. And I like this volume outside your biggest leg because again, it makes it way more sustainable. Like we've been in platforms where you get a match and they didn't have the rule of, volume outside your biggest leg. And don't get me wrong, it was aggressive paying, but they didn't run for as long as I would really like them to because I guess it just wasn't sustainable. This makes it a little bit more sustainable, right? So again, we like platforms that potentially could run for a long time. Of course, we can't guarantee anything. We don't know, right? But if when we try to look at things and try to analyze things, we like platforms that potentially could run for a long time. That's always if you look at the portfolio that I'm in, yeah, every now and then we'll get into things that are high risk, right? We'll even say in the video that guys, this is aggressive paying, this is high risk, right? But for the most part, 9 out of 10 platforms we get into, they do run for a long time, right? Because we pick and choose the different platforms. Of course, again, like I said, we can't guarantee anything. Um, but if you can get in early on one of these platforms, you can certainly uh, get to your break even point, and then everything above and beyond that is profit, right? Here we have, I just mentioned V5. Here we have V6, right? 3 million of volume outside of your biggest leg and 10,000 of personally deposited. Now you have a 60% match on your open line. Again, we're not factoring in overrides, right? Just on your open line. V7 is 5 million of volume outside your biggest leg, 70%. And then here at V8, it's 800, or excuse me, 8 million of volume outside your biggest leg. That's an 80% match on your open line. That's almost as much as what they're making, right? So if you have someone on your team that's making $1,000 a day, right? You're getting a match of $800 a day, right? An 80% match on their $1,000. And that's what if you have a couple of people like that, right? A couple people on your team like that. What if, and then that's not counting what you have personally. And so this can exponentially grow. We've been in platforms that had similar comp plans like this, and it just blew up and just exploded, right? Again, no guarantees that going to happen here, but we've seen this type of comp plan before. This is just a little more sustainable because it's taking volume. It's only paying you on the volume outside your biggest leg. So um, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But again, it's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot of moving parts. There's not, there's no, it's basically just this and this. And I like simple platforms, right? And again, this is volume based. So we've seen matching bonus, matching daily bonus comp plans before. And for you to rank up, you had to make sure people on your team were ranking up. Again, not a bad thing. But what if you had someone on your team that wasn't ranking up? Then basically you weren't able to rank up either, right? Because again, it was dependent on people on your team ranking up for you to rank up. This is just straight volume. So you don't have to have people on your team rank up. Of course, you want them to rank up, right? You want to help them rank up, but hopefully they do rank up. But if you have people that are just, not engaged or not, they're not really building or they're not, looking to rank up. Again, you're not held back by that. You can rank up because it's pure volume, which is another thing I like about this. So yeah, you can see here the payout again. I'll post this document inside of our Telegram. You can download it over there if you want to check it out. But again, this is a brand new platform, just started, just a couple days old. Okay, again, people that get in early on these platforms, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because number one, it's you're taking on the most risk. It's not proven yet, right? But again, the more risk you take, the more rewards you can potentially have because the people that get in early also have the highest potential of doing well. Because again, number one, if it runs for a long time, you'll break, and you hit your break even point, then you have way more days of profit, if that makes sense. So again, two things here to look at: the passive side. If you're purely passive and you don't want to build or refer anyone, there's definitely an opportunity here for you. You can make up to 1.44% a day, 7 days a week. And if you are a team builder, then there's also an opportunity for you as well because your daily passive income can exponentially grow because you're going to be getting a match on people's incomes on your team. So it's a pretty cool thing. So anyway, that being said, we'll be talking more about this moving forward. Some of you guys have asked me, hey, are you getting withdrawals? Yes, I posted inside of my Telegram. We are getting withdrawals, right? Again, anytime there's a $5 balance or above, it'll automatically kick it out to your wallet that you have connected to the DApp. So, you don't have to request a withdrawal. You don't have to wait for them to process it or wait 24 hours. It's automatically sent to your wallet, which is pretty cool. Now, again, if you're building or you're probably going to get a lot of withdrawals throughout the course of the day. So just be mindful. If you're, I probably wouldn't put Ethereum in this because if you get paid out in Ethereum and there's a bunch of transactions, you guys know Ethereum gas fees are insane, right? So your profits are going to get eaten by gas fees. I'll probably stick to the other tokens, right? The USDT TRC20, even USDT BEP20. What's the other one that they allow you to? I think Solana, right? But the ERC21 I want to put in. Anyway, going off on a tangent, guys. Check this one out, guys. It's called LOOMX. I'll leave a link down below if you want to check it out. Bind your wallet, you can get started right away. So that being said, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Again, risk capital only, guys. Follow me on Telegram, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell icon so you'll get notified straight away whenever I do a brand new video. All right, guys. Peace.